Hello, everybody out there in social media land. It is your personal injury attorney, Derek Bernstein here. We're at Moledo's Palace in near downtown St. Petersburg. You've all seen him before, but we're doing a Facebook Live right now that's going to basically go over what Joe knows best in the world, and that's not drunk girls in downtown St. Petersburg, but but we're going to talk real estate.
So this is his business.
We're going to talk business, we're going to talk investing, and we're going to talk how the law goes into all those
Renting
things.
versus owning, wasting your money versus not wasting your money.
Exactly. So we'll give it a few minutes, let people pop up here and see who is watching and stuff like that. I'm going to look at my phone, but what I would say is, because we'll repost this later too, Joe, this is Joe's first Facebook Live business event. But Joe, why don't you tell us, for people that are on my Facebook feed that'll watch this, kind of who you are, where you came from, and what brought you into real estate?
Real estate. I've been doing it for almost 6 years now, but really I've been doing it for a lot longer than that because I've been buying and selling real estate since I was 26 years old. Started in Miami. I owned some properties back then. The market in 08 kicked my ass, so I had to give it all back to Uncle Sam. Got into real estate, and it's been fun ever since. I love what I do. It's fun. It's great helping people. It's also crazy to see how many people waste their money in renting versus owning. For those of you that don't know, I keep talking about this. It is 36% more expensive to rent in St. Pete than it is to own. 36% more expensive. I didn't make that number up. That's part of Pinellas Realtor organization. That's the last numbers that I read. So that's a lot of money you're throwing away. So, for example, I posted a post yesterday that you could actually buy a house up to $215,000 without money down. That is zero penny out of pocket. So why in the world do you want to be paying rent when you could buy, as long as you have a credit score of 640 or better, have a job for 2 years or longer, you don't need money. St. Petersburg will pay for it. All you do is make sure you cannot sell your property for 5 years. Keep it, own it, live it. In 5 years from now, you go ahead and buy something better. As we grow older, we like better things, and we make better money. So we like to buy better things. Our houses get bigger.
Exactly.
And that's how things are.
And so people that are just tuning in now, I'm not seeing who can come on or not. So it's not as easy as doing it over my phone. But if you are watching and you can see this, leave a comment. We're doing Q&A as well. So obviously Joe knows real estate like the back of his hand. I know the law. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but feel free to write a comment in there and we'll try to answer your questions as it's coming up. If you see us looking up, Joe's got his nice big TV here in his den full of Yankees memorabilia.
So Yankee stuff in here.
So we're there.
For some of you that recognize that wall, I don't know if you know what a wall is. The old Cascaneo wall. Yes, I have it. Yes, I do.
So one of the things I'm trying to do here on my Facebook Live videos is trying to make sure that people know essentially things about other people's businesses. I'm trying to highlight businesses today. I'm trying to do Joe and how I met Joe to go backwards. For those people who don't know Joe lives directly next door to me. So we moved in here about 3 years ago from Riverview. We moved in, and being that, what percentage of St. Pete do you think is bilingual and Spanish speaking, Joe?
Maybe 15%, 10%.
Exactly. And it just so happened my wife speaks Spanish, Joe speaks Spanish, and the first thing I think we gave him was an empanada outside the house. And then when he moved in,
as my house was being built, it was funny to have them. They used to take pictures of my home and the process of the build out, and now I didn't have to drive by here anymore because Yas would send me pictures of my house and Derek every single week of the progress of the walls being put in, the roof being put in, the floors. It was sort of interesting. They saw my house being built better than I did.
Exactly. And so, I've gotten to know Joe for a long time, but Joe just went out on his own too. I know you guys know I just went on my own, but Joe just went out on his own with the Moledo Group. So Joe was sick and tired of people basically taking a lot of money that he was making and getting the rewards of it. Joe, why don't you talk a little bit about why you went out on your own?
Well, basically, I just wanted to do my own thing. You know, I had a great time with Keller Williams. It was the best experience. I could have gone the training. It's a great company. I will never say anything negative about them because I have nothing negative to say. But I also wanted my name on the front door, and there's nothing wrong with that. And with KW, I didn't have that opportunity, so I wanted my own, along with a partner that I have as a broker in downtown St. Pete, Julie. And she gave me the opportunity to open my own door, to open my own business, hire my own staff, and run my own office. And I like being in control. I like controlling who, how, what I do and what I don't do and what people are doing. As far as people that work under me, everybody else, you can do whatever you like.
and I think, you know, we have Eddie Leonard's taking some people. I mean, we put it right now, people are getting home. So Eddie Leonard's a great doctor over in the Tampa area. He owns a couple different places. So what's up, Eddie? This is Joe Moledo here, my neighbor, good friend, owner of the Moledo Group. Yaz, my wife works with Joe. They sell real estate and basically own the entire Tampa Bay area. Joe also sells some houses down in Miami. So if you guys have any questions about real estate, feel free to leave a comment there as well. But, you know, Joe went out on his own and he's seen great success. Recently, I'm out on my own. So when we're looking at real estate, Joe, it's Pinellas County. We're obviously St. Pete people.
Pinellas, Hillsborough County. We don't mind going to Manatee, Sarasota County. I mean, Sarasota is only a 40-minute drive. So what? If the business calls for it, I have a listing going there live next week. I've done business in Ruskin, in Riverview, Apollo Beach. We've got business as far as Hernando County. My parents live in Hernando. My son Joel lives in Spring Hill. So I'm always up there. So I don't mind doing business there. We have an opportunity now to probably open another branch in Lakeland. And we're looking into today. We met with a couple of investors, and that's our next adventure. Lakeland was voted as #1 community in America to live in, believe it or not. Realtor.com, Lakeland, Florida. So Lakeland is growing very fast. So why not? Let's grow with it. I've been here through the evolution of St. Pete, and it's been great to see the changes that's happened here. And I would like to see the changes somewhere else. You know, you go where the business takes you. You know, some cities are already completely played, meaning saturated with the 20,000 agents. Just by the way, I don't know if you guys know, but there's 10,000 agents in Pinellas County. 10,000. That's a lot. But, you know, the same rule applies. I would say 10% of us are doing 90% of the business. So, you know, everyone wants to be a realtor. It's not that easy. Trust me. It's not that easy.
Can you talk about a little, I know people think like they get their license and they're just going to sit back and it's going to be great. All these leads are going to sell $1 million houses. It's not the 9 to 5. It's so glamorous. Can you talk about what is the average day, wake up to go to sleep for Joe Moledo, the man who sells more houses than I know anybody?
I have a lot of people say a lot more than me. When I first got into the business, 70, 80, 90 hours a week. I breathed, I ate, I slept. Everything was real estate. But, you know, it paid off. But my first sale took 6 months. 6 months for me to get my first business. So for those of you out there that just got your license and I've been doing it for 3-4 months and I'm freaking out, don't freak out. Just stay committed and you'll be okay. If you're not committed, you're not gonna do it. Because what I hear is I think 84% of agents quit the first year of business. 84%. That's the last time I read that a couple of years ago. I don't know if that's still the case, but it's not an easy business to get into.
Yeah,
if you don't have the personality, the charisma, the drive, the passion to work with people, you're gonna fail. You know, some of us belong with people, some of us belong in a cubicle. So it's up to you to know where you belong.
And we have Yaz's sisters watching, Crystal Larson, my best friend's sisters watching. So if you guys don't know, I know Yaz, maybe Crystal, I don't know if you met Joe, but this is Joe. And some people don't know, Joe, that you're bilingual as well.
I speak Spanish, yeah, believe it or not.
You speak Spanish. Sometimes
people think because of my last name I'm Italian. No, I'm not. I am 100% Dominican.
Yeah.
Not 100%. My family's from
Spain,
Galicia, Spain. Yeah.
So Joe can handle people that are Spanish speaking. My wife is Spanish speaking too. So if you hire the Moledo Group to sell your home, you can be Spanish speaking, and maybe I'll dub this on YouTube.
We have 7 agents working at the office now. So far, everybody's cranking these days. Business is great. We've averaging between all of us, 10, 12, 13, 14 closes every month for the past few months. The first couple months were tough, to get everything started, the office lined up, the technology part of it, the logos, the signage, the furniture, the staff.
But now you got to run.
Sheena is my savior. I don't know what I would do without her.
And I'm surprised she hasn't joined in. So while you keep talking, John,
she's on a date with her.
No names. Let's see, while you keep talking, but one thing I want to talk to is everybody talks about the market, and you talk kind of like where the market sits right now in Pinellas and in Hillsborough County.
The way I see it, it's still great. It looks good. I brought some numbers with me. I have no idea what I did with it. The last report that came in from Pro is Pinellas Realtor Organization. I want to let Derek speak for a second because I think I have it with me.
Yeah, find it and
I'll come right back.
And I'm just inviting some people here because you know how it is. 6 o'clock. We'll be reposting this video too. So if anybody wants to watch it later, I'll be putting it up on my YouTube and things like that. But one of the things I wanted to talk with you guys about too is obviously at Bernstein Law, I handle family law, I handle personal injury, I handle business, civil litigation as well, and some criminal. So if you get in a DUI or something like that, I can help you out there. But one of the things I talked with Joe, and my wife's a real estate agent, is a lot of people, when they talk to attorneys, they get very specific of what they're looking for. So a lot of real estate people ask me, well, do you do real estate law? And I'd say, well, no, but what's the issue? If the issue is that it's, I was going to buy this and then somebody didn't deliver it on a certain day, that's not really real estate law. That would be a breach of contract. That's almost general civil litigation. So even though the subject matter is going to be real estate, what you need to remember is that you don't necessarily need a real estate attorney to do that issue just because it involves real estate. Just like, so general civil litigation can cover a lot of things. If it's not criminal, then it is civil litigation. So you want to make sure that you are reaching out to somebody who can give you good advice, because a lot of time those specialists who have, certifications or things like that are going to be charging, $400, $500 an hour to do something that another attorney who doesn't call themselves that specialty will give you a more realistic deal. So a breach of contract, if you had a contract with somebody in writing or with words, then you would be able to basically hire a person who does general civil litigation, not the specialist. You're probably going to save somewhere around 40% on your hourly fee. So make sure when you are reaching out to people there, and Natasha just joined, so she knows a ton of real estate too, you make sure that you're talking to the right person. That's why I take so many calls from people and emails and texts every day and say, hey, bring me your questions. I'll answer them for you. And then you can basically, if it's something that I can't handle, then I pass it off to that expert. But if it's something that you don't need an expert, or sometimes you don't even need an attorney, then you can make sure that I'm going to tell you that. So the good thing with working with people like myself, working with Joe, is we're not starving for the work. So you want to make sure when you're reaching out to an attorney, or you're reaching out to that real estate agent, that they're not starving to pay their bill that day right there with your sale. Because what you're going to find is when desperate people are trying to make sales, they're going to force you into something that is not the best thing for what you want, what you need. So if you call somebody like Joe, call anybody at the Moledo Group, which is going to be Brett Vickers, my wife, Holmes Baez, who else is doing that? Dylan, Jake. I'm probably forgetting some people. But if you call anybody with the Moledo Group, they're hustling. They're out there. You see them on Facebook. You see them on Instagram. You see them on Snapchat, I guess, doing their work every single day. So they're getting those leads. They're part of that 10% of real estate agents who are doing 90% of the closings. So when you get a hold of them, it's not their first sale. It's not their second sale. They have a team. They have a thing in place. They have great people like Sheena sitting there. Natasha can help you get from inception to close really quickly, and make sure that your home buying experience is really good and really tight, and they're not going to force you into a home that you don't want. They'd rather get you into something you can afford, something you can manage, something that fits your needs so that you're the happiest person in the world. When you look at studies, you'll find that the average person who has a good experience somewhere tells 3 people, and the average person who has a bad experience tells 9 people. So if you go out there and you do bad sales for people, they're going to tell 9 people in the area not to use you. So as a place as small and as connected as St. Petersburg is, you do not want to give people reason to go tell 9 or 10 other people not to use you. So, real estate is a great avenue for everybody. Please feel free in the comments section to go there. Joe's looking up some numbers right now, so as soon as he gets back, he can talk more on it. But if we're sitting here waiting on that, I can talk more to the law of real estate. And so you want to make sure that everything you do is in writing. You want to make sure that you're getting concise offers, closings, and Joe can talk more.
Right.
He's got his numbers.
I came back.
I only have so much information about real
All right,
estate.
so we'll go back. So as of Pinellas County, the last release that came out this past week, this is for December sales. Closed sales from December to December, year to year, are down 8%. That could be done due to weather. This year we had a winter. Last year we didn't. So it's a lot of different things that come, that take into play. So in total sales, this December we sold 1,733 properties. Last year we sold 1,891. So the number is about 150.
And when you say who's we?
The county itself, all agents combined, on December. Pending sales as of December were 1,400 pending sales. Last year we have 1,500 pending sales.
Okay.
New listings. This year we have 1,700 new listings. Last year we have 1,581. So that's a 9% increase. So people, equity is up in a lot of places. So people want to sell their houses and get better homes, or they want to
take that money and
take the money and do things or reinvest it somewhere else, or they are, they're empty nesters. They are buying smaller. They're moving out of Florida, or if they're not moving out of Florida, they're moving to the beach.
Jeff Copeland's watching. What's up, Jeff? Jeff likes to do some investing.
Jeff, how are you doing?
This is Joe Moledo, my neighbor.
So as far as inventory, which is the biggest number that we work with, right now in December we have 5,825 properties for sale in the county. 5,825. Last year we have 4,970. So this year we have more inventory.
That's good.
So that's good. So that's a 17% increase, which means that we're going to be busy for the next 3 months.
And what does that mean to you as a person who've seen the market? You've seen 2007, you've seen 2008, those crash times. When
It means that things are very steady. The reason why things crashed in the past, I'm not a total expert here. Remember that. I'm not a broker.
Not an economist, but
I'm not an economist. I'm not your financial advisor. But I was there when things were easy to purchase and things went crazy with volume. And the reason why the market crashed, one of the reasons was the fact that the feds were very easy to give you a loan. There was high school teachers making $30,000 a year buying $300,000 houses. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. You can't do that anymore.
What do they call them? Ninja loans, right?
They're just crazy.
No income loans.
No income loans, no income checks, no jobs. Those doesn't exist. You gotta have 2 jobs, history. There are statement loans here now for business owners. There's a way to get everything.
What I hear from
you want a house, we can find a way for you to buy one. Okay.
And what I hear from you, Joe, is one of the things when people are trying to buy, especially in St. Petersburg, they go, prices are high. I don't want to buy at the height of a bubble, height of the bubble.
Things are going to come down. We don't see that happening. So don't waste your money thinking
and don't pay
that there's a bubble about to burst. And a year from now, the house that you wanted that was $200 now is $250. The house that you wanted for $200 in 2021 will be $300. Then you just lost $100,000 in equity. So it's not what you're losing. It's why you're not gaining. Yeah. You're losing money by not buying now. And even if your rental is the same as your mortgage, you're still making money because a rental it's not tax deductible. Your mortgage interest is. Owning a property allows you to file the longer form in an account for your taxes. It allows you to this office that you're in right now. This is a write-off. Why?
I have my own office
because I do business in here, so I could write off this room because it's not a living room. It's a den in my home / office. So it's a write-off for me. You can do that if you rent.
And it's so legit.
And it's legit. I'm not lying to anybody. We're doing business.
We're doing business actually right this second. This is great.
Yes, we are.
Audit-proof stuff.
If Uncle Sam tells me, I have this video to prove it.
We'll put it on Facebook. We'll send it to him.
I'll let Derek keep talking. I have a client calling me right now.
He's that
Thank
busy.
you.
So you see, Joe's really committed to his clients more than even to me, so he's going to leave me here. I'm going to steal one of these Yankees things, but I think it's really important when you're looking at that. I like finances. I've owned a couple houses and sold them, but if you're paying rent somewhere and you're paying $1,500 a month, then what you're looking at is you're giving it away, especially if you're not a good saver. So if you're a person who at the end of the year is not a great saver, actually buying a home could be a fantastic way to save for you, because if you've been paying your rent and you make it at the end of every year, at the end of every month, you're paying, you struggle, and maybe you like to go to the Bahamas, you like to go on a cruise, you like to pop bottles at the estate with Joe in the VIP, then you still make that payment at the end of a year, at the end of 2 years, 3 years, and people say, oh, the interest is coming up and this is happening and that's happening. Well, at the end of 30 years, you'll have a property. You'll have fully paid off. I tell people to pay more up front. I'll get into why you should do that. But if you sit there and you pay your bills on time, month after month after month, and the market goes up 10%, and you bought a $200,000 house, now you've gained $20,000 to your name that you would not have gotten by renting. And by the way, the rent's going to keep going up too. So you want to get into a property, get into something that you can afford every single month, no problem, work, get it done. And then at the end of that month, when you're trying to retire, you need to have no home payment. If you get into a house at 30, you pay a 30-year mortgage, you're 60 years old, you'll have no home payment anymore. And you want to make sure that when you're going into retirement and your income drops significantly, you get on Social Security, you have your 401k payments, whatever way you want to do it. Social Security, I'm 33, might not be here when we get older. I hope it is, because I've been paying into it since I was 16 years old. But you want to make sure that when you're sitting at the end of your working time, that your home is paid off so that you can enjoy your retirement. You don't have to work like a dog until you're 75 paying off something because you were too scared to get into a property. So one of the things too, when you're looking at mortgages, and everybody's, parents always say, oh, pay a little extra. I try to show my kids, and one of the things you look at is when you look at your sheet, it will show you on there exactly what's going to the principal. Now, your principal means what's going to the actual loan, your actual loan amount. So if you take $250,000 payment out, what part of it is going to make that $250 go down to $240, $230, $220? And so on most house payments, if you have like a $2,000 house payment of your mortgage, you're probably looking at the beginning portion of your loan, something around $300, $325 a month of $2,000 is going to your actual mortgage payment, your principal payment. So what you want to make sure is if you can afford another $150, $200, $300, essentially what you are doing by paying a little early is you're making double payments on your house. So instead of taking $300 off a month, you're taking $600 off. So I did that on my first house, and I paid a little extra, and it really takes stuff off. And you get, you get that value on your house. If you keep paying it off, you do hit on hard times. You can take a home equity line of credit. I don't recommend it, but if you need to, it's better to take a home equity line of credit because you have the equity there. If you can't pay it back, you would have to be forced to sell your home. You will not be, behind the bar compared to something like a 401k loan or an IRA loan. Then you would be looking at being you would lose a lot of value in your 401k or IRA compared to what they call a HELOC. So Amber Sheehan joined. Amber, Joe left me here to go talk with clients in some more houses. So I'm making up some real estate stuff. But now I know what I'm talking about when it comes to some real estate. I've been around Joe for going on 3 years. My wife does real estate. We hang out with people like Amber, Natasha, Sheena, Brett. The whole Moledo team knows a ton. So we're always talking shop. So I've learned a ton over the years about real estate. So when you are looking at real estate, I am a lawyer, so I'm going to hit you with some legal stuff. Make sure you are working, if you're looking at, say, an investment, you're getting people to your property or giving you quotes. They're giving you, they're working on your home. So we'll first start with quotes. When you're looking at quotes, what you want to do is make sure that the people who are giving you quotes, and when you're comparing quotes to each other, you want to make sure that it is apples to apples. So meaning you don't want somebody who's going to give you a window quote and you are looking at windows and you're going, wow, this is way cheaper. But then you find out that they actually weren't quoting you the same quality as the second person. So be very specific when looking at your quotes to make sure that everybody wants to get a cheap and good deal, but you want to make sure that you're looking at it apples to apples. So You want to make sure that that 20K and that 20K are the same thing so that you're not disappointed at the end. But when you do bring somebody on your property as an invitee, you want to make sure that those people are licensed, insured, carry workers' compensation. So if one of their people falls off your roof doing your roof, they don't sue you, the homeowner. They can go to workers' compensation and be compensated in that system, so they're not going after you. So you want to make sure that those things are in place. Licensed and insured, cover workers' compensation. You want those are minimal. And if they can't produce those documents for you, and their quote is much shorter and cheaper than the other guy or the gal, then you need to stop and think and say, is it worth the $500 I'm saving? Because if somebody were to fall off the roof of your house, they're going to reach out to a personal injury attorney. They're going to sue everybody. They're going to sue their employer. They're going to sue the homeowner. They're going to sue every person on there, and your new investment property can turn into an investment nightmare. So you want to make sure that everything is on the up and up when you do that. Another thing too, when we're looking at properties, is you have invitees. So if you bring people over to your house, they are invitee status, which means that you need to provide a reasonably safe place for them to be. So if you invite people over and you have exposed wire, if you have a broken step leading into your home, if you have a hole in your backyard covered by leaves, and you're inviting people over, you're going to be liable if they were to hurt themselves. So you need to make sure, if you like to have house parties, you like to have people over, we always do, like to hang out in the backyard, it's a good time there at the fire pit with the twinkly lights, that your backyard is safe. Your front yard is safe. Inside safe. Everything is safe for people because nothing is wrong. It'll ruin your friendships. But also when you're sitting there talking to people and they get injured, and everything is always great until you go to the hospital, and then that hospital sends a bill. And you don't want to report it to your homeowner's insurance, and their hospital bill is $7,500, and you don't have $7,500, and then things are going to get really nasty. People are going to call their insurance. They're going to start suing you, and you could be out of pocket really, really bad, especially if you knew about the thing, you didn't warn anybody, it wasn't open and obvious to the person to miss. You could really, really find yourself in a bad situation, especially if you don't have savings to pay things off. They can attach it to your home, and your home will essentially forced to be sold to pay this person's legal, thing in their medical. So you want to make sure, if you're inviting people over your home, to make sure that it is a safe, secure place as well. If you do have pets and they are dangerous, or they like to bite or nip or whatever, you want to make sure that you just don't invite people over, or make sure that person knows, hey, that dog likes to nip. If you are trying to pet him, you risk being bitten. That way, when they do come after you, most homeowners' insurances don't cover dogs. They don't have, it's called a rider. You can add that to your policy, but it is restricted by breed. So things like Rottweilers, Pit Bulls, Dobermans, German Shepherds are not going to be covered. So if you have a pit and you try to add that rider, they're not going to allow that. So you want to make sure that when you are doing parties and you're having people over, that is kept up to snuff, and that nobody's going to get injured. So I know I sound pessimistic, but it's really important that that you guys pay attention to these things, so you don't have to call me and ask me the question of, what do I do now? They're trying to sue me for $100,000. I don't have $100,000. What do I do there? So make sure you walk around your place before people come over. You pick things up. Make sure nobody trips, slips, falls. Make sure you're not serving too much alcohol to people. We talked about this over the weekend. Don't be serving people. It's a lot worse liability wise if you're out there serving people drinks and you keep giving them shots, you keep doing this, you keep doing that. They're going to go out, they get in a car, they get into a crash. The person finds out, oh, they're at your house, you were forcing drinks down their throat. They're going to come back and might sue your homeowner's insurance and try to get at that money, because people are desperate, or if they reach out to attorneys, you go after where the money's at, and that's usually insurance policies. So if you don't have independent wealth just to pay something off, or your car insurance isn't good, you don't have at least $100,000 in coverage, $100,000 in BI coverage, then those people, are going to come after you personally. They're going to come after the person you're at. And you do not want to, have your friends home be on the line because you took too many shots at their house and you should have said no. So make sure if you're having parties and people are drinking that you take responsibility, that you're not shoving drinks down their throat. So what I'm going to do is, because Joe's out there trying to make deals and sell some houses, I'm going to wrap this one up. So I appreciate everybody watching. This was the Facebook Live with the Moledo Group, Joe Moledo, answering your real estate questions. Didn't look like people had many questions, but that's okay. I'm going to repost this. If you have any questions and you're watching this as a rerun, leave your questions in the comments and I will make sure that Joe gets them if they're real estate, and I will get to them if they are legal. So I appreciate you guys watching. Remember, the Moledo Group, Homes by Yaz. If you need a property, call my wife. Joe's not in the room, so he doesn't know what I'm saying. So make sure you call her instead of him. It'll be great. Just kidding. Lawbernstein.com, like the bear, Bernstein Bears. So lawbernstein.com, you can see all my videos. You can see my blogs. If you go on YouTube, you can see, and you search Derek Bernstein, you type that right there. You'll see all my videos. I have 66 right now. This one will be 67. I'll be putting up later. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. If you have any things you'd like me to bring up on a future video, bring that up to me in the comments. Or if you'd like to join me in a Facebook Live, this is pretty much how it goes. I talk about your business. Usually the law pops up in there, and we try to bring you to my audience on Facebook, and I try to bring myself to yours and give people a good person that they can answer legal questions to, and just have a lawyer on their side who is not trying to just short sell them on getting money out of their pocket, but actually protecting themselves and their family. So I appreciate you guys. I'm going to log off here, and have a good night.